Um, so now it's live streaming. Let's see. Okay, let me start the music, and then I need you to stay until the other guy comes in. And you could turn off my mute my mic.
Evening, Johnny. Howdy, folks. Can you hear me?
Music. Okay. Alan, did you hear the music?
Yeah, I hear it good.
Okay, good. Okay, you can mute me again.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Innervision FM. And tonight, we got us a really good show. Got a blues legend. You can also join us on channel 56 if you're local using Comcast. And you can go to the main InnervisionFM.com website. That's INNERVisionFM.com to check out the video portion of this that we air locally on Comcast channel 56. Hit us up at Innervision Denver. I'm sorry. Hit us up at paypal.me/Innervision Denver to help us to keep the lights on. Very important to pay the bills. For lonely plebeians like us that are not involved with the United States government that can pretty much pay for everything that they feel is necessary, we're just average Joes,
Am I unmuted?
Josephines, and we just have to keep the lights on. So hit us up at paypal.me/Innervision Denver.
Innervision. Is it running now? Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, we are still waiting for Jimmy Lee. Oh, and I see that he's open. Let's stop that for a second. Let him in. Let him in for a second. Okay. And take you back to the music. Let's see. I'm gonna get back to the music. And okay, let me do this one more time. Okay, let's do this one more time, ladies and gentlemen. As our guest has just arrived, he's in the house.
Is it running now? Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Right outside of this one church
Now this is the signature song of our guest who's going to be on tonight.
But it ain't my ground. This is God's country.
Yes, it is.
Hurrah!
Oh, well,
Did it stop you?
yeah. You are in the house. Is this
All right.
is this Jim? This is Jimmy.
You see me? Yes, me. Yes,
All
me.
right. God bless you, man. And
God
Ira,
bless you
thank you
too.
very.
All right.
And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to just welcome our guest, Jimmy Lee.
I can't see.
Now you can't see.
I can see myself. I can see you though, but I can't see me.
Oh, well, our audience can see you. So
All right, that's
so
good. That's good.
Welcome,
All
welcome
right.
you to the show.
All right then.
So yeah, we really appreciate you coming on. I've been hearing a lot about you, and through your YouTube videos, and then just videos in generals, and then when I heard you on the John Rush show, I said, I gotta have this guy on, because it's like you're saying some stuff that a few years ago, I mean, it was really radical, because the right really had the left really had the narration on who was or who is Republicans.
That's absolutely.
Yeah, and you didn't fit that what they were saying Republicans are, and so we definitely want to have you up. And you'd have found out that the Martin Luther King Republicans, and there's been some debate, was Martin Luther King Republican, was he not? And you answered that by founding this organization. And what led up to that?
Well, it's funny. I don't know how many times I told the story, but right after Barack Obama got elected, me and a couple of my college friends, shout out to Central State University, CSU, we just happened to be in the Trump Hotel. Ironic. That the
That
Trump
is.
Hotel, right?
Yeah.
Looking upon everybody descending downtown to Grant Park. So we was in the hotel celebrating, because at that time it was a great achievement. I ain't, undisclosed information. I worked on Barack Obama campaign you know, when he was in the Senate, when he ran for the Senate to get him in office then, because it's something big in Illinois to have a black senator at that time. We had Carol Moseley Braun, so Barack Obama was the next step up. So it was real fiery. And so anyway, we sitting in the Trump Hotel looking at everybody descend on Grant Park and on everything that's holy. I looked out there and I told everybody, like, man, can y'all see this? And everybody laughing at me, tripping out. Everybody was really trying to go down to Jennifer Hudson's room. She had a party going on down there, but everybody was like tripping on me, like, see what? I'm like, y'all can't see this? And I ain't gonna say it was a vision, but it's plain as day. I saw blacks getting played now, you know, in the Democratic Party, like so hard. I'm like, y'all, it's over. I sat back in the chair and everybody was still celebrating, like, what's wrong with you? You drunk? No, I ain't drunk, man. It's done. Don't you understand? They gonna say this. We gave y'all Barack Obama, and that's it. We ain't give y'all nothing else no more. It's done. I said, all this work we've been doing, trying to make a name for ourselves, they're gonna play us, y'all. No, ain't no. I said, they're gonna play us, y'all. Watch this. I said, okay, check this out. I'm about to start an organization. This happened right the night of his speech in Grant Park. I said, I'm gonna start an organization. It's gonna call the Martin Luther King Republicans. I'm gonna be sitting over here waiting. When y'all wake up, y'all gonna see we got an organization right here ready to go, because evidently we're not going to get nothing. Now, this at that time, you see, this is what I was looking for in the Obama administration that most blacks probably forgot about. The same thing that we was looking for in the Clinton administration was an accountability to the Iran-Contra scandal, where drugs was coming to the black community and it was testified. So everybody was like, okay, yeah, we about to get that out the way. It didn't happen. So, you know, we looking at all those things. And the sad part about the Clinton administration, you know, we got Jim Crow Joe in office, but the sad thing about the Clinton administration was that we lost Black Americans, that is, you know, through the help of a lot of blacks, Democrats, you know, a lot of preachers, a lot of activists, and a lot of white Americans. Black America got stripped of their constitutional rights right in front of all America.
That's going on. That's going on interracially. That's going on everywhere.
Right, but
blacks, whites, doesn't matter.
But follow me. Just follow me for a second. Just follow me. Just follow me now. Follow me because this is the end result. This is the end result we're having right here. Now I'm going to the beginning result. This is the end result where the effect is happening to all Americans. See, what's happening now is nothing new to the Black American.
Oh yeah.
So Joe got in.
That's the truth, brother.
That's the truth.
I.e., I can come in your house under the 4th Amendment right because it's crime bill and kick in your door without a warrant. Matter of fact, I can illegally search you without a warrant. Matter of fact, you can't even gather on a corner. You can't even own a weapon. Now these things were heralded, and if the game brings up the corner, oh yeah, you know, it was heralded at that time as something monumental of stopping crime. And a lot of people applauded it, not knowing that a section of America was losing their constitutional rights. We're looking at it as a war on crime, but not as a war on the Constitution. Now, everybody applauded it. Now, it's happening to everybody now. The same thing they're saying now is happening now, but not under crime, or not under crack, under that too much gun control, too many people in your household. See, they're disguising it now, but when Jim Crow Joe was in office, put us all back in chains, we had all our rights stripped from us, and not knowing that it was not just laws, it was a dismantling of the Constitution of American citizens. That's what's happening right now. And so this is why I form an organization to let people know that, hold on, as Black Americans, we are bounded by the Constitution and every right that we had in this America, from freedom of the press, like Ida B. Wells said, to talk about anti-lynching, to all the way back, all our rights and laws came from the Constitution. So once they stripped us and allowed America to watch the stripping of us, it allowed America to be in the predicament that it is in right now, where you got all these woke people screaming that the Constitution don't mean nothing or this, that, and other, because for the last 20-some odd years, it's been removed and everybody applauded.
Step by step. Yeah, you were talking about the Clinton and I think it was the Jim Crow passing that bill in 1994.
Yes.
That loosed all these police and then if we saw for the people who saw the movie Straight Outta Compton, in the first part when Eazy-E was in the house and they were making a drug deal and they weren't going to pay him, and then they heard this whistle signal saying that the feds were coming down, and they busted open that door, no warrant. They just bust open the door. It was in the movie Straight Outta Compton.
Right.
So it was almost like, when I was watching it, I'm thinking like, well, everybody knows that happens, but no, not everybody knew those things were happening. And now,
and see, it was glorified because you're looking at it as stopping crime, stopping drugs. So at any cost, at all costs, we're going to eradicate this problem. And by doing that, we're going to dismantle one population of America's constitutional rights, and why everybody applauds it and say we're doing something great. And now what is happening is we got Jim Crow back in office. He's just going to finish the job off on all America, because all America did not say nothing. So when all America was quiet, it's as if they didn't mind constitutional rights being snatched. So it's as if they were okay with it. So if you're okay with it happening into one section, why not all of us? Because no one stood up and fought for it. So it must not mean nothing to Americans.
Yeah. And it seemed like it was so easy when they said, hey, shut down the economy, shut down everything. And everybody was so, well, on the surface, a lot of people were like complicit to that. They stayed in the house. They were afraid, putting on their masks, afraid of each other. And I'm thinking like, wow, I mean, it seemed like I was living in a Twilight Zone.
Right.
You know?
It's funny. The Twilight Zone episode, what was the episode where they said when everybody thought the neighbors across the street was the enemy and everybody had the lights flicking on. It's some episode I saw Twilight Zone way back.
Yes, yeah.
It's something like that. But the mere fact that people willingly gave into those things, like people willingly decided whether you're vaccinated, unvaccinated, I'm not going to jump on you, decide to go get a shot. Well, some people decide to get a job. The fact of the matter, even in some parts of America, they told you couldn't even worship. You had the right to worship. Here in America, you have the right to worship, so you can go to church. See,
I saw you do a lot of those rallies down where you live, where
in Chicago.
Open back up these churches. What's going on here?
We have a right in America to worship. See, these are small fundamental rights that they were taking from us under these little options, these little COVID or crime, and everybody just go along with it, not knowing that these are the things that make us a great country. The constitutional right makes us different from any other things by these body of laws. And now the funny part about it is you got blacks and whites fighting over lack of resources that have been given to immigrants that can come over here and get all the resources, while Americans that are Native Americans, black and whites, can't. If you can't speak English here in America, you can't mop a floor. If you can't speak Spanish, you can't get a job mopping the floor here. You can't get not one low-skilled job here in America if you're not bilingual. And this is America. The only time that you are dominated by another country, you're allowed to speak their language. If another country came over here and dominated us, then we have to allow to speak their language because it's a dominant country ruling. But here in America, it's as if you're not bilingual, you cannot get a job here in America. And that's a shame. Yeah, it's America. It's as if now, even they're done with the black Americans, so they're gonna bring the Hispanic in there. So we fight for jobs. Now they done with the low class white American, uneducated white man now, because hey, we're gonna mess your school system up, and now you can't even graduate with this high debt. You come out of college right now with a high college loan and can't get a job because you can't speak Spanish.
Right.
Right.
Oh man.
You can't speak Spanish, and no matter what degree, and that is where America has come to right now with all this immigration, and the main deal is to have blacks and whites in America in the future fighting over resources instead of us uniting right now, fighting over this one thing that we have in common is our constitutional rights.
That's
One
right.
thing we have in common is a constitution. Instead of us coming together fighting over constitution rights and what they can take from us, we're gonna be fighting over little food stamps that they'll be giving us when a family of 5 in America can only get food stamps for 2, but a family of 7, a Mexican family get food stamps for 7, and low income housing, and set up with property, and get a job because he can speak the language in America. Well, a black man or a white man cannot get none of those things. You got to get behind the line for low income housing for immigrants. They done passed a law, Asian hate crime, and everybody thinks of the Chinese, not knowing in Afghanistan, that's Asia too. Now they brought a bunch of 100,000, 200,000 Afghanistan over here, and now they passed a law where we can't even discriminate against them. They got more rights than the average American citizen.
Now, okay, I've been talking to my wife about this, and we go back and forth and stuff like that. So you know that these guys, they believe in marrying 12 years old. But in America, if you're 20s and 30s and you start messing around with someone under 18, it's illegal. So how do you mix those two things together? You haven't vetted these people. You say, hey, come on in with your 12-year-old wife.
You see here, that's the problem right there. With now, most Americans don't know America, i.e., just about a couple of months ago, I want to say, was it South Carolina? It might have been North Carolina. They just raised their age of consent from 13 to 16. 16.
Right. Yeah.
It just happened.
Is that right?
Just happened. Yes.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is, in certain parts of America, it's just not advertised or blown up like that.
Okay.
But now you're going to be hearing a lot about that because of the same-sex marriage laws that are being passed. You don't want no 60-year-old man with a 13-year-old boy. So that's why North Carolina lightweight raised their ages up. It wasn't because of really of the man and woman situation. It's because of the new laws of marrying. Because those are the things that are happening. See, people are not looking at the stripping of our laws and our way of living and our way of life. So it's easy to focus on the Afghans coming in here with their 12-year-old wives or 3 wives. You know, honestly, they say that's son upon America, but if it's my religion, in America, I should be able to practice my religion. Now in America, you say I can marry a man, but how come I can't have 3 wives? See, a lot of things about to be bended now because of we've been conquered. Because we've been conquered, a lot of our norms and values are about to go the way of the conquering nation, i.e. our language, i.e. our marriage, i.e. our parental way we raise our children, even our education. What we're not looking at is us being conquered. You see, you're not going to recognize you being conquered till white America loses their constitutional rights. The same rights they took from black America in 94 when they come for the guns, because most white America has more guns than black America. When they come with white America guns, they're kicking their doors with no warrants. When they start stopping on the block, start searching, sieging them. When they take their cars from them, when they start taking their right to go to church, when they start doing those fundamental rights in the Bill of Rights, when they start taking them from them that they took from us a long time ago, that why blacks feel like this is not their country because of the right that was snatched from them. Yeah. And it's easy for blacks to play that role because you put them in a victim, you portray them as this beastly victim, where you either a victim with no dead in the house you can't read, or you're still in dope, so we're gonna take your rights from you. We're gonna we're gonna put you on a plantation where you can't have a father and take that out the way, or B, we're going to strip you all your rights and your manhood, your constitutional rights from you and leave you right there. You see, I call it the Southern strategy. Whereas when we won the North, when Lincoln won the Civil War to make all Americans, you see, people fail to realize that once upon a time in America, half America was free and half America weren't. Let the critical race theorists have you think that all America was in servitude. If you think that way, how the hell did Harriet Tubman go to the South to free some people? Where did they go get freed at?
Absolutely right, my brother.
Right. Where did everybody escape to for freedom if we're all in a slavery set town? There had to be somewhere where everybody escaped to. So you can't sit there and pass that all America was racist and
Yeah.
all blacks were slaves when there's free blacks in the North
Yeah.
and enslaved blacks in the South, and also enslaved whites in the South, because they was on a white man's plantation also. They didn't have no job neither. Their job was just to oversee the other blacks who didn't have no job neither. And massa had to give them food, clothing, and shelter also.
All right.
One big corporation, cotton plantation, tobacco plantation. It was one big corporation. You want to deny everybody their rights. As long as you work for me and I provide for you, you don't need nothing else. And that's what's happening now.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today's society. Big corporations want the small man not to have no rights.
Yeah. And the left has been so good at brainwashing all of us to believe that the Republicans are the bad guys. And I think that's why they wanted all these statues to be taken down, because if you can just talk into your phone and say, who's this person? And the phone comes up with, oh, he was a Democrat under this regime, whatever. If you got rid of all the statues, you don't have that reference points.
It's so shameful. I have a book.
Yeah. Tell me.
It's called Tillman's Handbook of Great Black American Patriots: A Guide to National Parks and Landmarks, Statues, Museums, and Monuments. Now, before I talk about the Black Patriots that are in the book and the statues and monuments that are also in the book, it is so right that you say they're removing all the statues, because me, myself, being a historian, I would love to take my children to Virginia and show them a picture of Robert E. Lee, the man who fought against Abraham Lincoln to keep us in slavery. Let me show you who this guy is. Let me give you a picture let me show you who this person is. Now, if I remove him from you, I remove him from history. He does not exist. That time in history does not exist. So if I remove all history from you, from that time not existing, then I can tell you that all blacks were slaves and all whites were the oppressor. I can tell you that no blacks fought at Bunker Hill. I can tell you that no blacks fought at the Alamo. I can tell you that Phyllis Wheatley, the great poet laureate, wrote letters wrote letters to George Washington saying, "Don't give up the fight.
Don't give up the fight.
Don't give up the fight."
Oh, man.
Phyllis Wheatley did not write that letter. We have a great country right here. If Crispus Attucks did not get shot in the middle of the streets, was the first George Floyd, America's first George Floyd was Crispus Attucks, that we went to war to form a country. You see, if these things are not told, and you're not looking at us as patriots here, also fighting for the rights that every white man has, from the Battle of Bunker Hill to the Battle of Afghanistan. You know, from all points, all since America was founded, we fought in every major war, shed every major blood. But once you erase that part of history, it's easy to look at them as, well, they're not from here. They don't believe this country, not part of the country. But the answers did none of that. We fought for our freedom. Matter of fact, America lost so many bodies in the Civil War, the most people we have ever lost in our history of America, just to make all Americans free. Just to make all Americans free, binded by the Constitution. Well, if you don't like it, we're going to add the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment just to make sure that they're all equality in, to make sure they're in. Those amendments are not for no foreigners. Now, I'm not trying to say blacks are special privileged people, but during this time period, when Grant and America wanted to make their right, their wrongs, they gave us special amendments, Black American special amendments, not immigrants, not transgender, not one-armed people, not one-legged people. It was specific for one race of people to amend the wrongs. And that's what the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment was for.
Yeah,
you know, use right to vote. All our kids are citizens now. It's not, the anchor babies are not for the Mexicans. It's for all the slave babies that was born here. Now you're still baby citizen too. So they can't come over here using an amendment that was not given to them. It's the manipulation of the laws they're using. They're taking laws for citizens and giving them to illegal immigrants.
Exactly.
And then taking the laws from the illegal immigrants and giving it to the citizens. You know, we're getting all of their laws and they're getting all laws. And we have no rights in our country. And that's the problem. And this is our country.
You really bring up some good, valid points. You're on a show where the host is a blind guy, and the co-host is also a blind guy.
Mhm.
Now, what does happen typically is there's some big organizations out there. There's the National Federation of the Blind. There's the American Council of the Blind. There's unaffiliated blind folks, but the underlying current is old sighty, keeping the blind man or blind woman or blind non-gender specific washer and dryer of your choice,
Right.
whatever, keeping the old blind man down. Old sighty, keeping the blind man down, keeping the blind woman down, whatever. Now, we tried to stay away from this. We the blind community organized, and we did our very best to legislate things rather than whine and cry and complain about how unjust the system is. And for that, we've still got a 90% unemployment rate now.
No, well, 70%. I think it's 70%.
Or 70% or 66%. It doesn't matter. I would propose this. Google what the national unemployment rate is for the blind community, and you will not get an accurate figure. You will get a 66% unemployment rate. You will get a 70% unemployment rate. But the bottom line is this: anybody who can see, if 2/3 of the population were unemployed, or if 70%, or if 90% were unemployed, they'd be rioting in the streets.
Yeah. And what they do is they offer you this little check, which is like a part-time check, and it incentivizes these people to say, well, I got a check when I get out of high school. Why should I
work?
Why should I work? And now they're trying to do it with the whole United States, saying, yeah, we'll just give you a check. Shut up. We'll give you a check.
Universal basic income, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, if they're giving you a check, who's doing the work?
Yeah.
See, you understand? They
That's
already
right.
got the labor
That's
force
right.
here. See, they have the labor force here, and they can tell you we're going to give you $15 to $20 an hour. Okay, yeah. Now you got a company saying I can't hire you because I can't afford it, and now here come the cheap labor force, unbeknownst to everybody, come do it way underground.
Right.
And the average man ain't gonna take that minimum wage because they fought for the $15 an hour. But here, these illegal immigrants coming over here will take the 5 or 7 or $3.55 an hour. They don't care. See, and here he is. We're gonna give you a check to stay home and don't worry about nothing while your country's being taken over by immigrants. Not only Latinos, you know, you got the Asian, you got the, I ain't gonna say the Haitians because I don't know why or where they are at. And what happened to them? They came here one time and they disappeared. And it's not that hard to find. You know, I know y'all can't see them, but it's not that hard to see 15,000 Haitians just here in America.
That's right, brother.
You know, but where are they? You know, and that's why I'm gonna say on the show for pretty soon the Martin Luther King Republic is about to call for the Department of Homeland Security to step down because what's going on at our border. But the mistreatment of all immigrants, besides having them in cages and corralling them in horses, just the discrimination of who you let in this country and who you're not letting in this country, who does fit asylum and who does not fit asylum. And if your country was ravaged by a hurricane and there's thugs running your country and your president got shot, that does fit asylum. Then a bunch of drug dealers and people coming over here from Mexico, but you got one saying you can't let these 15,000 in. On the other hand, we're gonna not let 15,000 in, but on the other hand, we'll let 300,000 Mexicans and 200,000 non-vetted Afghanistans in. I don't know how many Pashtuns we're gonna let in, or how many Pashtuns we're gonna let in. We just know that 15,000 people who do fit the criteria. Now, I'm not here saying let him in, let him in, let him in, let him in. What I'm saying is we should have some balance in our immigration system.
Some kind of order.
Right. If you're saying we can't let 15,000 in because of this one rule, then we can't let the 300,000 in down the street for the same rule.
Because
It's
same
all I'm
rule.
saying.
Exactly.
The rule should apply evenly. And if people don't see discrimination in the rule, now if we all gonna say don't let the Haitians in, I applaud you. Okay, not let nobody else in. Close everybody off right now. But we're not saying that. We're not saying that. What I'm saying is we need fairness. We need the law should be applied equally, and it's not. We're not looking. The Democratic Party are not going to speak upon it. They're not going to say racism because Jim Crow Joe is in office, the author of the crime bill, who locked more black folks in the office. So right now, just like when Obama was in office, we couldn't say nothing. They can't say nothing now because they had the Trump derangement syndrome, and they want to prove a point that this guy, because this guy is the man, and Jews not gonna replace us. The worst thing in the world that ever happened to us in America. Jews not gonna replace us, but yet you see the image of blacks being corralled with horses, and that's not racist. You see Mexicans in cages, and that's not racist. The images are startling what to me is racist and what is not racist. The only time you can use a racist is when the word R, Republican, is in front of it. Racists don't begin with D, Democrat. It begins with an R, I guess. That's what they think.
And it's really weird. Because of YouTube, I can go back and I can find speeches by Malcolm X. And it seems like that's been erased from the psyche of the Black community. I can go back and I found a speech where Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy in two different places said in 40 years, they could see there being a Black president. Did they know that Obama was being groomed? Because the Bushes, their family knows they knew the Obamas. Did they have insight, or was that just something that they just spontaneously said? Both between Robert Kennedy and Martin Luther King said that in 40 years they could see that there will be a Black president.
Well, back in the day, we had a great Black senator by the name of Ed Brooks from the state of Massachusetts, the first Black Republican elected since Reconstruction back in the day. And he served during the time of Nixon. Matter of fact, Nixon was going to try to put him as his vice president when something went down with Spiro Agnew, but he didn't decide to get it at that time. Now,
1967, right?
Yeah, back then, named Ed Brooks, a great Black first Black senator. So anyway, the Brooke Amendment, the Brooke laws. That's why we got a little affordable housing now and stuff like that in America. He's Republican. I digress. There's great things for the low income people. That's what Republicans, the same direction that Trump was taking the party is the same direction that the party was in when Ed Brooks was Republican back then. You see, the Republican Party, in my opinion, is why I'm so trumped out. You know what I'm saying? First person I went hard for. I went harder for Trump than I went for Obama.
Same here.
Because
Same here.
I recognize what he was doing, all the laws. See, there's nothing that the Democratic Party can put on the table for Black America right now because of all the things that Trump took off the table for Black America when he was in office. He gave you criminal justice reform. He gave you a police reform. He gave you low diabetes. He funded Black colleges, low job and low unemployment. He put the wall up, and that made more. That got rid of the Hispanics. I'm not being funny or xenophobic, but a lot of legal immigrants had to be put on notice, and a lot of Blacks, especially in the South, got those factory jobs. We were moving. The tax base was opening up. See, so what I'm saying is, when America is great, is when Black America is a part of America and working with America. You see,
well, I would even expand that further and say when all of America works together. Now,
well, I can say all of America, but you want to be honest, America's really red, white, and black. The Indian, the black man, and the white man. You want to break it all the way down to who we here. And once the original people of America realize that we are Americans and we got one law that binds us. The only thing keeping America from being great, the only thing keeping America from being great is a prejudice. There is no more racism. It's the prejudice and the lack of the fact that we don't know the Constitution. We can't recognize when it's been stripped from us. Not just one of us, all of us. Not knowing if people were constitutional savvy in the '94 like they are now, like how all these patriots so Constitution. If they were like this, they are now back then, they would have recognized that, hold on, these are inalienable rights that these citizens have.
And these are rights God gave us, not rights that God gave us.
Right. That they're being removed, but yet no one is saying nothing. But the same black Democrats are still in office that passed that bill. The same senators are in office still passed that bill. Republicans might came and went. Of course, a lot of them have come and went. You look at most of the Democrats are still there. The pain and suffering that they caused is still here. The author of all those bills and laws, now he's in the White House. And now with all that being said, his number one mission is to keep us separated. The fact you all have a show is great, is to keep America divided, because there is money in separation. There's money in fear and hatred. There's money, like I said everywhere, on a small town in America, on a Friday night lights, you will see integrated force football team playing together. On a Saturday college day, you're gonna see integrated college team playing together. Same on Sunday. All that whole town, that whole city is cheering that black and white team playing together. See, that's America. When you realize we're on the same team and we cheering for the same players, then I mean, not only Democrat, Republican, anybody Democrat, Republican, America's one team. You know what I'm saying? We won league. You know, we won league. Maybe different team, we won league under the same rules, which is the Constitution.
Yeah, and for people who have just joined us, we're talking to Jimmy Lee Tillman, and it's a great Patreon, and we want to find out some more. You have a website, you have a book.
Oh yes. First of all, my producer said wrote a book. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'll put it up here for the camera to see it. Right. It's Tillman's Handbook of Great Black American Patriots, and it guides the national parks, landmines, statues, museums, and historical places dedicated to them. I'm gonna talk about the book in a second, but you can find the book on lula.com or tillmanfamilypress.com. Let me get it regular Amazon or Barnes and Noble. They got it there.
Yeah, okay. Right.
But you know, now you can also go to Jimmy Lee to DC. That's my webpage. You can go to the Martin Luther King Republican webpage. But if you want,
wait a minute, you broke up there. Say that again. You broke up.
Know so much information about you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me get it again. You with me? Yeah, you got me? It's
got you now.
Okay, I'm got you. Hold on. Let me make sure we good. All right. Okay. It's the Martin Luther. I lost you. You there?
Oh no, yeah, we're here. The Martin Luther King.
Okay. Republican.
Hit the
right.
Over there was that post.
Where? Right here. Okay.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. Right here.
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
anyway, okay.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
I'll go
You got it.
Martin Luther King Republicans.com. You can check that out. Now, if you want to know any information about me, you can go Google Jimmy Lee Tillman II. I'm there, or Wikipedia me at the same little title. You can catch me there.
Okay, and then also, you know, as a conservative hip hop person.
Yes, I am.
That's awesome.
What I do is hear me. Hold on. Yes, I am. I do consider myself a hip hop conservative. Basically, I try. Oh, here we go. Oh, got you. Now, okay. So I had a technical difficulty on my end too, because I was like, there you go. I lost the host. Here we go. Bam.
Okay.
Now I feel comfortable. I feel safe. I can see y'all. Okay. Yes. Okay. Right. Hey, now listen. I'm being very, very funny and loose here because Now I know what it feels like to be York. I can't see neither. I was blinded. I can see that. Okay. All right. All right.
You were in our boat for a while.
I was in y'all world for a minute. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. No, what it was, I tried to show that hip hop before Kanye was popping with Trump. Like I said, back in my Obama days,
Right.
I want to show that my generation who does like hip hop music, KRS-One, Public Enemy, and all that stuff, we have merged politically, and we have a different opinion. Like KRS-One said, we don't all eat chicken and watermelon, talk broken English, and drug selling. We do more things. So I decided to take the conservative message to the hip hop community to show the similarities that we have in our views, not only in music, but also in conservative values. So I kind to lure them in with the same ideology of the same music. Like, I listen to this, you listen to this. Now let's have a dialogue. Let's see why our opinion is different. And my deal is this: if you're a black man in America, unbeknownst to you, you are a Republican. Now dig this. Let me ask you a question.
All right.
Oh man, I can't even say this because you're blind. I'm gonna ask you this.
Anyway,
Yeah.
brother.
Dig it right. I'm about to say this. Did you ever chance by any chance see Roots?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. In the 70s. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well dig it. Now I like to talk about Roots a lot when I be speaking.
Right.
And if you watch Roots, a lot of people get caught the Roots in the Kunta Kinte part of Roots. When you see Kunta Kinte get whipped and getting broken and everything like that, you see the atrocity. And sometimes people like to show that part of America, and sometimes you get frozen in that in America. But there was a character in Roots who I like to celebrate. His name was Chicken George.
Chicken George. Yeah.
Right. Chicken George. Now, what Chicken George did was so American. He did something to show all how American really was. He bought his freedom. Saved up his money, bought his freedom.
Absolutely right.
Chicken George went to the war to fight for freedom.
Yep.
Chicken George saved up his money to buy some land for his family. Now, in Roots, here you see in Roots, you see a free man, Chicken George, going back to the plantation where his children was at. Now, at that time, they wasn't free. Here's a free man. Now, if we're all enslaved and it's all in servitude at that time, how the CRT wants you to believe, here's a free man with his paper saying, I'm free. I'm here visiting. I can do my business. I'm just saying, look at Roots as a snapshot of America. Now, even in Roots, there was a scene of Juneteenth. People don't understand that.
Okay.
Tom was in the field picking. We're free, we're free, we're free. No, we ain't gonna never be free. What have you? See, some people in the South were still picking, even when the news got to them, it was late. So what I'm saying is, if you want to see the really history of America, not emotionally, but watch the historical America through the eyes of a black family coming from slavery. Because notice this, Fiddler was older than Chicken George and didn't know nothing about Africa.
But he didn't know anything. Yeah.
Didn't know nothing about Africa. So here you got somebody who's been here in America longer than somebody coming from Africa. So look at the age difference. So it shows you how long that blacks were over here in this country also. That you have a grown man only know America through his mama and what have you, who have been there longer than Kunta Kinte coming from Africa. You see, these are things that are not, you might get caught in the pain, all of that, but look at it historically and look at America. You see, you can even look at the forming of the Klan by the white Democratic Council. Right, was just to keep blacks on the plantation and not join the realm of freedom.
Exactly.
And that was all it was about. What we want your free labor here. Don't go nowhere. We're going to harm you if you do. Don't listen to those troublemakers up north, coming down here, shaking things up because we don't like them anyway. They killed half our men down here because all the men in the South now are gone. So now we honestly got to keep some regulations up here because there's more y'all down here than us. So we only have one way to do. And no, we're not going to give you the land that we promised you because it's going to put you on equal footing. And we're not going to put you in this corporate establishment because at that time, cotton, tobacco, peanuts, rice, all of that was agriculture. And America at the agricultural time was being ran by the South. You see, not too much up north. People up north really didn't care about what was really going on south. They had their own little industries, tile, and all their own industries working up north. Right. And so when you look at the history of America right now, the Southern strategy has always been to get everybody, I say blacks, but white folks too, back on the plantation.
That's right.
So we're giving you less funds. We're giving you a check. We're giving you a check. We're going to give you a check.
Oh, we'll give you a check.
We're going to give you a check. We're going to make sure you get your Medicare. We're going to give you housing because it's all master provided to us: food, clothing, shelter. Now, not for the white man, he didn't care. He can find you a dime a dozen. But for the black man, he made sure he had insurance on you. Anything happened to you, you was worth money to him. He can find an Irish man coming off the boat any minute now who can speak the language and do the same thing that the last man left on. You see, but they didn't understand. Even on the planet, even in Roots, they have a scene where there was a white man in Roots who was just poor also. They have no money also. So they said, well, go on ahead, you can be in charge. And hey, even that showed you the level of plantation work that was in America. But everybody overlooked the white man, the white slave that was in Roots that had nothing to do with that. The white man said, okay, we're gonna put you here and give you some clothes and this and that because you ain't got nothing either. Because that was a small part. See, it's the history of America. Instead of looking at Roots emotionally, look at it as a progression. You can see a black man coming as a slave, fighting freedom slave, getting his family out of slavery, buying land for his family. And that's time when they say we couldn't come up and do anything at that time, how the CRT wants you to feel.
Jimmy, because you travel a lot and you've been around. And
even though Roots might have been imaginary, it might have been.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. You talk to a lot of people. What is going on in these communities where the gangsters are shooting here? Are they not aware? Are they just so busy trying to be whatever the music is telling them to be, or whatever they're getting hypnotized, or they're such eating chips all day and have no brain food? How do you see how do you see what's going on?
Three ways. It's a three-headed monster. And I'm gonna deal with the last part of the monster last. I've been talking about it all day.
Okay.
The first head of the monster is
wait a minute, you're breaking up.
Broke up.
Oh man, I want to get the first part of the head of the monster is breaking up.
Lack of employment. Okay, can you hear me now? Am I good?
Yeah, yes.
Hold on.
The first head of the monster.
Everything. You got me. Am I with you? You got
Okay,
me?
yes.
Hold on. One second. Give me one. One second.
All right.
Okay.
The first head of the monster. Okay.
Hold on. Here we. Am I back?
Yes.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, here we go. I switched. Okay. The first head of the monster is like this. Cost of living, the cost of living increase, the living wage increase. The living wage increase by saying you got to have minimum wage is not good for these people who are cost of living earners. So now McDonald's and Walmart and all these job places got to pay people $15 an hour. But back in the day, those are jobs that little kids would get, 14, 15, or 16. Now those jobs are gone because now grown-ups are getting those jobs now. Because why? Illegal immigrants have got the other little low-skilled jobs again. You know, they say that. But you got a lot of unemployment. Now, I'm not going to look with drugs, guns, and unemployment. Third-headed monster coming back again. All coming. It's one big page. Follow me. The second head is education and opportunities. What I mean, education opportunities, not job, but the opportunity to play sports, to play swimming, to do theatrical things, do extra high school or extra school curriculum activities. There's not enough funding in those things to get children that probably, you know, if your parents got to work, what have you, there should be some extra curriculum activity in schools where basketball, football, baseball, band, rugby, or any of those scholarships acquired traits. The third one is it's the legal immigrants coming in here, getting a name for themselves. So they got to get a body. They're coming over here in Sanctuary City. They shoot your city. See, we have what you call Sanctuary City here in Chicago. Now, if you're from a black democratic city with a sanctuary town, you understand what I'm talking about. Yep. ICE can't come in and get them. They can roll around with dope, guns, bodies in their car, and cops ain't gonna touch them. Point blank. So let's look at it like that. Let me go back again, democratic people in your towns. We got Black Lives Matter. Y'all just saw the news. People just shot somebody up. The Democratic lady here just let her right back out on the streets like nothing problem. Why? Because of the Black Lives Matter situation during the turmoil with all the Antifa out hitting the streets. A lot of these Democratic state attorneys start giving leeways and these easy bails for these criminals that's doing these jobs. And so all that is doing really is hyping up the crime rate, which ain't doing nothing but let's make the crime rate back up again, guns back up again, take everybody guns. It's a constant trap circle where here you had Antifa coming in, riding your streets, burning down your towns, right? And then you let them out on the streets after you arrest them. So now you have police officers saying, why should I do my job? When I arrest them, they're coming back out. That's on the citizens of America. Now let me go on the illegal citizens here of America that can drive around here unchecked because they're not going to get arrested because they have something called sanctuary.
That's absolutely right.
Sanctuary means I'm not going to jail. Means I can come up and shoot up your hood. And you can't, but you shoot at me, you get away with it. I retaliate back, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
What's fair to that? You catch me with a gun, I might go to jail. You catch me with a gun, well, you know, sanctuary. And that is what's going on in most urban cities that have sanctuary. Look at the crime. It's going to be plugged on the African-American community because when you look at crime in the cities, it's only the citizens that are of darker skin, not of the brown skin, that come in these illegal, what's the name again, Ebony? MS-13 coming in here. They bringing in the drugs. They bring in the guns. You got blacks selling the Mexicans guns. You got blacks selling the Mexican drugs. Right now, the cartel is here in America, funding all this stuff going on. And then what happens? They come in your neighborhood, and then they buying up the houses in your neighborhood with Mexicans because they're legal and they get these free loans. The government's giving them, and they can just be up here packed in there. And then their community's going on because they got all the job. They can speak all the languages. You see, it's a constant circle, America. And I'm not trying to speak ill upon the Mexicans. All I'm trying to say is that here in America, it should be one language. And if you are immigrant, you should learn our language. And you want to be part of, see, this is my immigration package. Listen, everybody, this is the Jimmy Lee immigration package right here.
Right.
If you want to join, like, let's say they want to have this new, what they call that? This amnesty package.
Right.
Let's say this amnesty. If you call this amnesty deal, you got to go to the service right now. I don't care. Everybody in family must join the service, and you must speak the language right now. And let's see how fast they get out of here then. That means we're sending you in the service right now. You got to fight for this country. You got to show us you willing to die for this country because there's patriots here that live, die, and fight for this country.
Now, I travel, and so a lot of people here don't know. I go to Europe, Russia, Sweden, and stuff like that. In Sweden, if you don't speak that language, they'll give you about a year. But if you don't know that language in a year, you're washing the floors, you're cleaning the butts of people. If
Right.
you don't know that, same thing in Russia. If you don't, they have some bilingual stuff, but for the most part, the national language is Russian. And I'm not sure how we got so far away from the national language here. It shouldn't be press 1 if you want to speak English. It should just be speak English.
Right. What they're doing is making it easier for the next race to come over and replace us. Like you said earlier, they're going to give all Americans checks just to stay home, but all the working people, all the mechanics, all the plumbers, all the construction workers, all the laborers, all the work that a high school dropout normally was able to get and survive here in America, they can't get no more. The normal person who probably can't make it in life with just a GED cannot make it here in America because he cannot speak the language, which is bilingual, and they're only hiring bilingual. And that is not fair here in America for the uneducated population here in America who wants to survive here. That's putting them at a disadvantage.
And I will submit this to you, Mr. Tillman. I speak not super fluently, but I speak Spanish, French, German, Italian, English. And because of my disability, I find it difficult to still even find a job.
Well, now tell me, okay, so you are the people that you are seeing, the black people and brown people, are they starting to see through the haze? Because with the media, the Democrats and all these entities fogging up what is really happening, is the information getting there step by step, or is the mind still so fogged up with all this other stuff? Do we have a long way to go?
Well, drip by drip by drip, you see the storm is coming, and pretty soon everyone will see the storm is coming. Sometimes you gotta just trust the plan. Sometimes you gotta sit back, you trust the plan, and you watch. And when everybody sees and when everybody is awoke, the real great awakening will come sooner than everybody. It's October, it's kind of hot. You know, we in the month of Red October right now, and pretty soon everybody will see what is happening to America, and everybody will wake up. They're tired of what's being taught in schools. They don't like the CRT. They don't like the transgenderism. They don't like the fact that I cannot dictate what my children are learning. They don't like the fact that inflation is too high. They don't like the fact that they can't pay their rent. They don't like the fact that their economic future is not where it used to be. They look at the 401k. They right now, those who didn't feel it, who was numb to it because of the syndrome, of the Ranger syndrome, they feel it now. They're gonna see it now, and pretty soon. This is not me threatening. Here we come. No. Right now, the great awakening, everyone's been waking up because the storm is coming. I trust the plan. You trust the plan, don't you, Alan?
I have no choice but to trust the plan, and that plan is Jesus Christ.
That's all the way.
A lot of folks really believe in that 17th letter of the alphabet.
No, the only.
I trust the ultimate plan. That plan has been written thousands of years ago, brother.
That's right. And that's why you should. That's why these are the days that you. These are the days that you shouldn't fear. These are days that you shouldn't fear. You see, those who are scared right now are scared of death. And like I said, those who go to save their lives will lose their lives sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So right now, the scripture says, in these times right here, what's up and down, what's down is up. When a boy can say he's a girl and a girl can say he's a boy. Everybody knows we're not. So you're supposed to trust the plan.
Yep.
Because see, these things said were to be happened, and you don't need no letter or no number to see,
Right.
sense, and smell. If you are a true believer, these are things that you already know.
Yeah.
And so the things that you hear and see, or what they say and see, still are part of the plan, because it's all written down.
Yeah.
If you read Daniel, you see it says what's going on. You read Revelation, you will see it says, we can hear Proverbs, we can go up and down the whole scripture, because the plan is still in existence. I mean, when Daniel told the plan right then, everybody can read the plan when Daniel told them the plan. They still didn't understand the plan. Could they, Alex?
Yep.
Yeah. And I tell my daughters, I said, don't let people spoon feed you. Open up the book, read it for yourself. Yeah, and ask for understanding. I remember when I first started reading the Bible. Because I was reading the King James version, I had to switch over to the NIV. I said, God, give me the wisdom to understand it. I kept reading and kept reading and kept reading until it opened my mind. And I see with them, okay, so they take the Bible out of the schools. There was a show called The Most Hated Woman in the World, that she got the Bible out of the schools. Okay, then you have to take it upon yourself to pick up the spoon yourself and feed yourself. And if these school systems are going to think that they can control you, then take your child. I know it's going to be hard, tough. Take your child out of school, develop a group of people that are like-minded, and teach. Dr. Boyce talks about this a lot on his show. Train your kids yourself or with a group of like-minded people and take them out of that system.
That's absolutely right. Not only that, once the teacher certifications start being pulled and start being yanked to where you cannot homeschool your kids, wow. Once we get to that point, things are going to be in a different arena, but it's not there yet. So we need to use the tools and the scheduled purpose for education as much as possible as we can, until such time as, well, the possibility exists.
I disagree. I just say this COVID thing was the greatest thing. Now the parents know exactly what the kids are being taught. Get them out of there.
That's right.
Right. But you see, what the situation is, a lot of Americans are not that smart themselves. They want to trust the system and trust the system that they felt that at least they taught me enough to get by, and maybe they might do the same for my child. And that's what the situation is now. Like we said, Alice, we be in scripture like that. They let the children lead them. A child can tell the teacher that you can call me. A boy can tell the children, a little 5-year-old can tell the teacher, you can call me Miss. Don't tell them. And the teacher can call him Miss all day in class, or Sally. His name is Sam. You can call him Sally. And the parent can come up there and say, why are you calling my son Sally? And the teacher can say, well, the son told me to. And the parent can say, my son ain't no Sally. Right. But there's nothing the parent can do, because the little boy, 5 years old, said, this is what I want to be. Like I said, we're in the days where they say a child should lead them. But right now, it all depends what child is leading people astray. You have no idea what the foolishness that's being put out here. See, that's why you sit back and you trust the plan. You go with the flow. Yeah, the storm is coming. Yeah, the storm is coming. Yeah, the storm is coming. And a lot of people are scared to stay the course, because dig this. How many people rode with Jesus and couldn't believe that he was Jesus? He told Cleophas, like, what's up, man? Here I am. Did I tell you all these things, Cleophas? Here I am, Cleophas, right here. Didn't I tell you that I was gonna do ABC? Now, you was right with me. You was right with me.
All right, some guy's running around, got a long hair, got the beard going on. He's sitting there opening the eyes of the blind. He's sitting there doing the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes.
Everything.
He's feeding all these people. And they're like, well, really?
You right here with me. So what I'm saying is, we as humans, that should show you a lesson how hard-headed we can be. We can be in the midst of the Most High Son and still not understand, still not believe. That's how we are. You see, we can throw all these things out here. Like I said, I trust the plan because I got insight. We see evil. You gotta know good's around the corner, and only good defeat evil. You know what I'm saying? You can't say evil, that's evil. You know, good somewhere around. If you believe in good, see, evil cannot exist in a room with good. It got to manifest itself. A bad spirit cannot sit down when a good spirit walks in the room. You got to say something.
Right.
Can't exist. Right. So if evil's in the room and you hear it, that means something good around the corner and it's about to knock it out. So that's why I'm supposed to plan.
Yeah. Praise God, brother.
And this is, I have to keep you, because we're going to make this a two-parter show on our channel 56 Denver Comcast. We're going to make it a two-part.
We gone long, bro.
Yeah. And I told my partner before, but I want to say it again. When Biden lied and said that Trump was the most racist person, he didn't know, I didn't read his history about Woodrow Wilson, who, when Dave Chappelle, great grandfather came in and said, "Hey, could you stop this lynching?" And Woodrow Wilson says, "I have no problem with that. Get out of here." And then on the east end of the White House showed the movie The Birth of the Nation, which was the most racist movie at that time around. And this Bandito Biden, lying like he knows how to do, told that big lie. So I keep putting that out there so people can understand, read your history and stop listening to these liars. Dig in there for yourself.
Yes, in my book, Tillman's Handbook on Black American Patriots, I talk about a guy named Monroe Trotter who had a dealing with Woodrow Wilson, who threw him out the White House. You see, what people understand in history, the Black American has always had to ear to every president except Donald Trump. They told us to stay away from Trump. That's the only time that a black group or black section of America was not allowed to speak with the president without getting shunned or ridiculed or ostracized.
You know, you're absolutely right. I never even thought. Wow.
Right, like that. That's the truth. And even all the money gave to HBCUs, that some of the presidents was shunned at even going to CMC. The deal was they were so upset that Hillary did not make it. That there's nothing that this man could do was correct. There's nothing that he could do that was right. And let me tell you something. Prior to when Obama was in office, as a black man, I feared for my life. I didn't go to a lot of clubs. I was scared of police brutality. I was scared to get shot straight up. Trump get in office, he passed laws. I felt safe. I felt safe. School shooting, it was not a school shooting, not a club shooting, nightclub shooting. I felt safe as a black man. I didn't feel no police were going to harm me. I felt safe. Now, everything's ticked back because in the Democratic establishment, you got to perpetrate fear. You got to have a black man feel that he does not belong in the society. And from that point on, they're going to treat him like that until they accept that this is not his country, accept they don't belong to society. And that's what they tend to do. Every time a Democrat comes in office, every Democratic president has done black law except Lyndon Johnson. Every Republican president has advanced the culture of the black race, even Trump, without low unemployment. When people look back at the history of his presidency, they'll see that this is probably the second time outside the great Reconstruction that blacks equally income-wise was up. We were doing fine. It is one of the best times for Black Americans when they separate the law. Even diabetes, making insulin low, and diabetes is a high killer of blacks in our community. I mean, everything he did so much that, like I said, there's nothing that Joe Biden can say. They want to scream George Floyd bill, Voting Rights Act. Nah, there's no other laws that need to be done for Black Americans because it's already been done. America just don't know it because they didn't want to promote what Trump was doing. So it's as if none of these things happen. It's why they're arguing, why does the George Floyd bill? Let's get it, because we passed one already. We ain't doing police reform. What about police reform? Well, it already happened. Criminal justice, we already did it before. They just saying those things to keep the black man and woman amped in the party like they're doing something. Now it's abortion, and now it's voting rights. When we had blacks didn't have the rights to vote since 1800, since Reconstruction, but they're gonna let you think it was since 1965. Well, it was since 1965. We always had the right to vote since 1800. So we became a citizen of America. Once we became citizens, we had the right to vote. They always want to tell you, 65, we got our right. That's a lie. We fought for representation because we were not allowed to have representation at the time that was adequately representing us. Different ball game, different fight. You see, but they want to tell you that story and blind you. Like right now, the Voting Rights Act, my opinion, leave it alone because again, it's a black act. It's an act so that the white Americans cannot go back and do what they did to black America. And what happened was the Democratic Party tried to sneak some Hispanics, Asians, and other people under that right. And the Supreme Court said, no, if you want it, change it and put that in there. They didn't want to do that because it's strictly a black right. And the Democratic Party don't want to get caught into messing with the Voting Rights Act. You see, so they got to add the other people who they saying are being suppressed. Blacks are not being suppressed here in America to vote. It's the legal immigrants who they're trying to get on the rolls who are being suppressed. So these Voting Rights Act is allow the legal immigrants easier pathway to vote. And when that happens, it dims down the blacks and whites representation.
Yeah, and then I got to add this one other thing. Okay, the biggest genocide in the community. Okay, first we were 10%. Now we're like what 13, maybe 14%.
14.
And
Somewhere.
if you Google, I Googled it and said, where are most of these abortion places located? They'll tell you a half truth, but then if you go to Start Page or Duck, you'll find out that 80% of these abortion centers are located in Black and brown communities. And that's the biggest cause of death for Black Americans is before they even born. These women have been convinced to kill them. Yeah.
Well, you know something? We're so much in the George Jefferson 21st century that abortion clinics should be none and void. We have the day after pill, the second morning pill.
Yeah.
There are things right now that you can take the second after you had a intercourse and terminate a pregnancy over a surgical removal procedure now. And the funny part, Margaret Sanger didn't like Black people in the first place, and she was the head of the Klan, and her whole job was to eliminate Blacks regardless of the fact. So that's why I'm with the Hyde. Don't get rid of the Hyde Amendment. You know what I'm saying? I'm with the Hyde Amendment, and I'm with the Born Alive Act. I'm with the Heartbeat Act. If you can hear the heartbeat, it's alive. If the baby born alive, it's alive. Anybody else, let me tell you, see, it's the fact that, like I said, you got the dragon sitting there waiting to gobble the baby as soon as it comes from the womb. What I'm saying is people right now are just giving in, closing their eyes blindly to murder without even realizing the connection that is murder. They're numbing themselves down to what they think murder is. And I'm not trying to sit here and whip anybody who probably had abortion. I'm not trying to sit there.
It is what it is.
My personal feeling right there. My personal feeling.
Yeah, but and then I just remind people, the first full-term abortion was when the king found out that there was a guy named Jesus, and he told his soldiers to kill all the 2-year-olds. And it seemed like here in Colorado, we have this thing where a baby can be born and you can stick the scissors in the back of his neck and kill the baby. So we're not too far from if it's 2 years old, you don't want him, let's kill him.
After 2. Hold on. I thought you misquote. Listen, you're right. You see, this is where we are in the world today. You see, and you want to talk about crime, the shootings of people here in the city, but no one's talking about the 2 years old that are dying in Colorado.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's more egregious than two thugs shooting out at each other. Probably deserve to go anyway. Might be two bad guys off each other. It's more easy to take than an innocent life who knows no harm.
Up to the year of 2 years old. Oh man.
Yeah, and I told my daughter, she says, I don't believe you. I say, don't have to believe me. It's on the books.
Yeah. Look it up.
You know,
You see,
Crazy. It's
and
crazy.
here in Illinois,
Gentlemen.
we are Illinois. See, we're surrounded by red states: Indiana, Missouri, Waukegan. Where we got the most liberal abortion rules, where everyone now is coming to Illinois across the borderline because of those things. Again, like I said, if there has to be another way, people. You know, there always has to be another way, and to your listening audience, this is not the first time it's happening. You know, Johnny said Jesus, happened to Moses, happened all the time. Anytime the prophets are trying to come, they try to make it easier to destroy them. Now, I'm not sitting here prophesying, saying, I'm just saying in the history, how things are saying. And I'm going back to Alan. I trust the plan. I'm sitting back watching these things happen. And if I think that there's something that's going to defeat this evil, I got to roll with David to knock out Goliath. No matter how many people say David can't hit Goliath with that rock, or David don't exist, or David's going crazy, or whatever David's doing. If Goliath is evil and David is with God, then I got to knock Goliath down. I don't care how many people say don't trust David's plan. Don't trust David's plan.
And don't be afraid.
And don't be afraid. You know what I'm saying? You got to attack evil. What evil is that? You got to call evil out. You know what I'm saying? Don't be. Let me tell you something. People think I'm crazy because you might see my black butt in a town full of redneck crackers and I'm a hip hop head. What am I doing there? What's wrong with you, boy? Why you at a mega rally? Aren't you scared? Ain't they gonna hang you? Are you crazy? I'm an American. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? And honestly, the only thing to fear is the Most High. I only fear God, nothing else.
That's right.
If you know, if it's time to roll, He got me. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
That's right.
You know, and that's the problem. People don't fear God, but they fear Biden. You know what I'm saying? Stop fearing Joe Biden, fear God. You know what I'm saying? Stop fearing Fauci. Stop fearing Fauci. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Fear God.
Amen.
Yeah. Well, and Jimmy Lee Tillman, thank you for spending this time with us. And like I said, this is going to be in channel 56, Denver Comcast. we're going to cut it up in several shows and probably put a little bit of something else in there.
Not a problem.
Because I know the people need to see this. And people walk up to me all the time saying they love the conservative views I bring on this show. And I think Denver, a lot of people are afraid to say what they really think. And so I'm just one of those guys.
I was so sad.
Hey, since we're in Denver, can I give a shout out? I'd like to give a shout out to somebody from Denver, Colorado that I'm gonna say tuning in. Hey, yo, Byron Simmons, what's up, Flint and Alcohol crew? Check me out, Conservative Going Wild. I'm Chicago, and I made it to Denver, Colorado, to the Live and Blind show in America. They might not see me, but they sure can hear me.
Yeah. That'll work.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I got to split, Johnny. I do apologize. Have yourself a good one, folks, and God bless.
Alan.
All right, God bless.
God bless you, Alan. Have a blessed day. Trust the plan, Alan.
All right. And give your information one more time for people out there.
All right. Alan was kicking in with, nice to meet you, Alan. God's on your side. God's on our side. God's on Johnny's side.
All right.
JimmyLeeToDC.com. The MartinLutherKingRepublicans.com. The book, Tillman's Handbook on Great Black American Patriots, can be found on Lula.com, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or you can get a good discount at Tillman Family Press. And next week, I will put a code up there for all your listening audience, and I'm going to send you the code, and you can say, everybody hit the code, get the book for a discounted rate. And I'm going to try to get it in Braille so you can check that out too.
Well, audio, that Kindle.
Well, I'll get an audio copy for you.
No, Kindle is good. Kindle's good. That'll work. We'll get it in Kindle. So everybody, give this show a thumb up, share it, because this is a lot of truth in here, and so we want people to know. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow I'm going to be teaching on how to get this grant. We have a grant here in Colorado and probably have it in every other state, but it's a very easy one to get. And I'm going to show you how to do it and show you how you can find it in your state, where you can get up to $4,000 if you're a musician or artist, because we work with a lot of disabled musicians and artists. So stay tuned for tomorrow's show. And God bless you and see you tomorrow.
God bless America. Thank you for having me.
All right.